Hey guys, it's Stacy here from Stacy Loves Paper, and I'm giving you the long-awaited craft room tour. This is the second part of the tour. This is my new craft room. Well, not new, it's been a year and a half, almost 2 years since we changed it over. But you can see part one if you click the link below, or if you go to my blog. And that's just a really quick tour of my old craft room in the same house. So this is the new one, and this is looking in from the hallway. The front door would be to the left, and this used to be a formal living room. And there will be a picture of the before, and this is the after. So we'll walk in. This is my crafting section here. Just a quick little note about the house. It was built in 1920 or so. So the windows do go from almost the floor to the ceiling. They're the original window frames, but not the original windows. So I got several storage pieces. The one right here, where my score pail and Carl cutter are, we brought from the old house. And as you can see from the title, the craft room through the decade, we've lived here for, it's actually been 11 years now. And that is my current work table. I'm going to start the tour with this, since this is going to be the biggest change. It's just an old dining room table I got from a family member. Works very well. It's a big surface. It's about 70 inches by about 35 or so. So it's a really good work surface. However, it's not flat. It is warped because it was outside, and there are some metal rivets on it, so it's very difficult to stamp and do any kind of color inking. All my craft mats, I've got a glass craft mat that moves a lot because it's hard to get it all flat. So I do have two new desks. I'm going with Martha Stewart craft desks. I just have to put them together, but I wanted to do this video first before we get those in here. Now this is the newest edition. I went to IKEA. This is one of their, actually it's a nightstand, but I like the way it looked. That one took the longest to put together so far, since we haven't put the desk together. That had quite a few pieces, but it's pretty nice, and they already had a glass top you could buy. So that worked out really well. I keep my paper and envelopes in there, but I'll show you that later. And then that's the back wall. Got an ink pad storage. I got a filing cabinet and shelves that used to go with my husband's computer desk. He doesn't use it, so I put it over here, and I keep all my paper in that, which I'll show you in a little bit. And as you can see, if you've been counting, there's 3 huge windows, so it's great for light in here. And that's my desk area. So I got my computer, printer, picture I got from Meyer a year or so ago. And we're going to move over. You can see the dining room, which we redid at the same time as this room since they connect. Then over here we have my husband's side. He likes to play computer games, so that is his computer. He does need 2 monitors. And then this is for our kitty Jingles. He runs the house, and he has to be wherever we are, and since we are in this room probably about 80-85% of our time, he is also in this room. But he's in here a lot more, maybe 90-95% of his time. It's his favorite place to sleep. And that is a little nook area from the previous owner. They used to have a huge vase in there, I guess. We're probably going to add some shelves in there, but I don't have anything yet for it. I did have a picture on Instagram of all my stuff before and after. So just a quick look at the dining room table, since that's where I shoot most of my card pictures on Instagram. It's a wood table. I did get it at Antique Market, though it's not an antique. Just some long wood planks and some legs, and they painted it, or they probably stained it, not paint. It's a gray stain. The lighting is not very good, and I'm not exactly sure how to change it, so I apologize. It looks a lot more yellow and off color. But there's some of my stuff I use for the backdrop. M is our last name. Got some more antiques I pick up at the market. So yeah, and then that is our kitchen. So we'll swing back around. This entire room is about 15 feet long. Nope, I'm sorry, it's 15 feet wide by about 20 feet long, so it's a nice size room. And as you can see in the previous pictures, it used to be a formal living room, which we never used. So to the desk. Now my new craft tables by Martha Stewart come with drawers, so a lot of the stuff you see hopefully will fit in there and I can get it off the tabletop and have a lot more room. But for now, I have a little Lazy Susan I picked up at, I believe it was TJ Maxx outlet a long time ago. I seen something similar in black at Office Depot a few years ago. I'll try and look for something similar online and link you. There is one by Making Memories that's a lot larger. This one just has slots, no drawers or anything. So I keep all my scissors, glitter pens, some tools in there. And then I have this Lazy Susan I got at the Container Store, which I was lucky enough just to have one open up near us probably about 6 months ago now. So this holds all of my Nouveau drops, enamel accents, all my glues, and my water bottles. No, you don't need this many water bottles or glues, but I have to have them. Got some stamp cleaner. Then I got all of my brushes, regular and water brushes. So yeah, that works out pretty well. Then I have my glass mat, which I do love. It's by We Are Memory Keepers. It's fabulous because it cleans up super easy. I got that idea from Terracell, I believe. So they sell that at Michael's. Got my tonic paper trimmer. Trims really well. Just a little plate I picked up at Kohl's. And these are my water bottles when I do my watercolors. $3 well spent. And then another item I picked up at the Container Store, it's a letter sorter, but it holds my Misty's paper trimmer, my mini Martha Stewart scoring board. Keeps them up out of the way and nice and neat. That's just a little antique I picked up at the antique market again. On my dining room table, it's the chairs I use for now. When I get my desk set in here, they will be 36 inches, so they'll be standing height, so I'll get different chairs. I have my Raskog carts. Keep my stamps, though those will probably change. Then I have all of my stencils in the second little slot there. All my pastes. And then on the bottom I got some big woodblock stamps, some big background stamps. I got all of my stamps there I stamp on the back of cards, you know, made by. Then I got a hair straightener for my ribbon. I don't use it very often. And then extra bottles of glue. So I keep that there. And then on the side, those turquoise containers, or pool colored, are from the Container Store. They're magnetic. I just keep rags and my most used tools there. So I got my bone folder, my Tim Holtz paper piercer, which is awesome. And then on the top there, that top bar is that IKEA magnetic bar. Sticks to that, so I just put my magnetic tools there. They're within easy reach. And now the top part there, you can see it's actually flipped over, so it forms a flat surface because that stamp container, which a lot of people who use the Avery L pockets buy, wouldn't fit inside if it was turned the other way. So you just unscrew it and flip it the other way. Then I keep my heating tools. Then I have this little table we had up in our attic for now. Hopefully that can go once I set up my room. I got my bigger stamps there, which are probably going to be changed over. So those are my 6x6 backgrounds. Some of my Stampin' Up sets that I bought non-wood mounted are in there. Just some white yarn. Yeah, so this I made with my silhouette, and I used to use it to store my foam brushes. So I just cut out of white cardstock and then some thin chipboard. And I had this container from years ago. And I just take my blending tools and they all just fit in there. Keep them separated. Yeah. Some of the holes didn't cut the right size, or the blending tools aren't the same size, but you know, you just make the holes bigger, no big deal. Yeah, so I kept them separated until I got my new storage item here. So yeah, I just kept that down there to show you guys if anybody needed a storage suggestion for those. That's from Organize More. I'll link to it. And then I just have some tape and my We Are Memory corner rounder. Okay, the next section of my room. This is a handmade storage piece. So I have a really nice work surface, which I always keep my Big Shot on. I use that all the time. Got some little twine there from a antique mall. Some new stamps that I have to organize. Then that's just my paper scraps that have to go in the recycle bin. And some cards I made recently. Some of them are posted on Instagram. The other ones I made at a Stampin' Up! Class. I have my embossing folders, and that is all scraps of fun foam, and then in that basket, which is from Target, are all my cut down sheets, but solid sheets, like 4x6 of fun foam. So that's all stored in there. With the new storage I have, which I'll show you in my part 3 of my craft room tour, hopefully that'll all be put away and look a lot nicer. And that's another ink storage from Organize More. That's all my Stampin' Up! Inks. And then I have just some odds and ends, Mama Elephant, Hero Arts, etc. And then just some decorative items on the top, which probably won't be there once I redo the room. And as I said, this is a storage unit that came with my husband's desk. Well, to match it, I should say. So for now, I just have some old wood stamps that I haven't put into VCR type cases yet from Stampin' Up! Those are mostly Christmas and Halloween, so I don't use them very often. Then that brown box I just use when I spray stuff. And I have all my markers and pencils. Those are from Organize More. I like them a lot. And they come in separate pieces. The second shelf is kind of a mess right now. I got my extra Nina paper. Will probably change. And then I have my little sewing machine, which I've used twice maybe. But I got a really good deal at Meijer's or something. And then that's all of my die cutting, and that is just all paper stuff, like projects I was working on and haven't finished. That's about as clean as I could make it for now, so sorry it's a little bit messy, but that's real life. And then the drawers are all my cardstocks. So I keep everything in file folders. So I have just, and that's everything I got. Acetate, vellum, special paper that I've cut down from 12x12 sheets. I got my, this is all my neutral cardstock here, so white, black, all of my grays. I love gray cardstock. Okay, so the bottom drawer is all my colored cardstock. Most of it's Stampin' Up! I do have a few off-brands. Well, I shouldn't say off-brands, but different brands. I got My Favorite Things, some metallic papers from Paper Tray Ink. So I store them all in file folders. They do slip over, so they do catch a little bit, but I don't pull out the folder that often. So that's how I store it, just in any file folder. I got them actually at a garage sale for $2 a box, so I bought a bunch. So I just use a tab punch out the color, write the name of it, and then I keep all the scraps in the front, the bigger sheets in the back. Now if I do buy a package, then the whole package goes in and I just slice the top so I can pull it out. This works really well for me. If I do ever get less paper, I might store it out, since I like the way it looks when it's on display. But right now that just works the best for me. So yeah, when I need scraps, it's there. They're all in the same folder. Alright, well here's a close-up. I realized you couldn't see it that well, of my label. And I just use the labels that come with the folders. And this is the punch I use to punch out the color. Stampin' Up! Punch word window made by EK Success, so you might be able to find one at the store. And that's just what it looks like. And let's see what I forgot. The desk lamps are IKEA as well. The IKEA is about an hour and a half from my house, so when I go there, I do try to buy everything I think I'm going to need, so I don't have to make a return trip. So yeah, those lamps actually work out great. They clamp right to the desk, so they get some extra light when I rarely film a video or when I'm working at night in here. As you can see, I just have some ceiling pot lights. And then the last piece is just an unpainted was a TV cabinet in my old house. That was also in the attic unused, so I brought it down. I probably will eventually paint it once I have everything else together. So inside is nothing exciting, it's just my paper storage. Hanson watercolor paper. Got some wrapping paper. And then the very bottom, when I say Stacy loves paper, I mean it. I love paper. I love stacks of paper, notepads. So I have all my extra Stampin' Up! Cardstock on the bottom. Those are my like pool colors and stuff like that. Then I have right here is all of my Strathmore watercolor paper. And then I have some, I don't even know what kind this is anymore. Strathmore, it's like a vanilla cardstock. I got it for $5. So I use that sometimes for my cards. Then I have the Michael's Recollection Ultra Thick Cardstock for my card bases. And then I just have some Georgia Pacific for my Avery storage pockets. I cut that paper down. Then I have the 12 by 12 paper I decided to keep. I did get rid of quite a lot of it. So this is my pared down collection. Then again, extra paper, Nina. I got my press and seal, my big shot dies, and then just some. Right here is Stampin' Up! It's a tray that you can decorate, which I have yet to do. So yeah, that's all in there. It's stuff I don't use very often, but it's in the same room, and that's my overall goal, is to get everything in the same area, and whatever doesn't fit's got to go away. Okay, so my stamping area is about 8 feet by 15 feet, so I have quite a bit of room. I do not do this as a job, I only do it as a hobby. I really enjoy it. I've been doing it for about 13 years, so I have collected quite a lot of stuff. Now at the end here are some before pictures of my room. The first one is when we first moved into the house. As you can see, we got all of our moving boxes and stuff there. Second picture, I apologize for the gray blobs. I wanted to cut out everybody else's face. I didn't have any actual pictures before that turned out good, so this is just a family event. So that's when we used it as a formal living room. And then the last picture is another view of the living room and then what our dining room used to look like. So I hope you enjoyed it. Part 3 will be coming probably next month sometime once I have everything organized. So thanks for watching. If you have any questions, leave me a comment, and you can always visit me at my blog, stacylovespaper.wordpress.com.